You don't actually work better under pressure. You just finally work. The rest of the month, you weren't working at all. So the deadline didn't unlock some hidden gift. It only took away your last excuse. You've said it out loud, half proud. In interviews, even. I work better under pressure. Like it's a quirk. A secret setting. A little superpower that clicks on the moment the clock turns mean. So here's the enemy for the next 10 minutes. Not deadlines. Not your job. That quiet story, that pressure makes you sharper. It doesn't. It just makes avoiding the thing completely impossible. Picture the last time it worked. Deadline tomorrow morning. Suddenly you're locked in. Phone face down, tabs closed, hours gone in a blink. You built the whole thing in one hot, focused night. Felt incredible. So you draw the obvious conclusion. That's my mode. I need the heat. Give me a calm week. I'll waste it. Give me one panicked night. I deliver. Feels true. It's the wrong lesson. It shows up everywhere. The report you touch at 11 p.m. the night before. The essay written in a single dawn. The taxes, the slides, the email you sat on for a week. Same pattern every time. Now roll the tape back. Not to the good night. To the 2 weeks before it. What were you doing then? Not the task. Anything but the task. That's the part the story deletes. Every one of those days, you had an exit. Later. Tomorrow. I'll feel like it's Sunday. A dozen open doors around one small task, and you walk through one every single time. Then the deadline arrives. And here's what it really does. It isn't a coach. It's a bouncer. One by one, it slams those exits shut. Later? Gone. Tomorrow? There is no tomorrow now. When every escape door is locked, one door is left open, the work. So you walk through it. Not because you got braver or smarter. Because there was, finally, nowhere else to go. That's the moment you misread. You feel yourself finally moving and think, pressure made me capable. No, pressure made you cornered. Capable, you were the whole time. Cornered was the only new ingredient. There's a rush too, and you file it under the zone. Racing heart, tunnel vision, time bending. But that's a stress response, not a performance state. You're mistaking adrenaline for clarity. And the feeling at the end, the one you call pride? Mostly it's relief. 2 weeks of low, humming dread, gone in a second. That flood feels like triumph. It's really just the dread leaving. You carried a weight for 14 days and refused to put it down. Of course, dropping it feels amazing. But you're crediting the sprint for a good feeling that came from the avoidance finally ending. Here's the trick your memory plays. You compare the rushed version to nothing, because nothing is what existed the day before. And rushed beats nothing every time. So rushed gets to feel like winning. What you never get to see is the other version. The one with a calm week behind it. Fewer mistakes. A second draft. The better idea you'd have had on day 3. That one never gets made. And you only count the times it worked. The all-nighter that saved the project, you tell that one at parties. The 3 that blew up, the thing you sent broken at 3 a.m., those you quietly forget. You forget the near misses too. The nights it barely held together, where one crash or one flu would have sunk you. That's not a strategy. It's a coin flip, and you only remember the heads. And the real bill was never the busy night. It was the 2 weeks before. You don't get those back. You spent them half working, half guilty, unable to relax. You paid for the task the whole time. So honestly, I work better under pressure isn't a fact about your talent. It's the kindest possible way to say, I only start when I'm out of road. That stings. Sit with it for a second. But look at the good news hiding in it. If it's not a special gift you either have or don't, if it's just the exits closing, then you don't need a cliff to close them. You can. Because that's all pressure ever gave you. No way out. Not focus you couldn't summon otherwise. Not brilliance on demand. Just a locked room. And a locked room is something you can build on a quiet Tuesday. You might push back, but the focus is real. Under pressure, I stopped checking my phone. I stopped second-guessing. True, but pressure didn't hand you focus. It just deleted your options to be distracted. Pressure narrows you. Everything that isn't the task gets amputated. No time to reorganize the desk. No time to research for an hour. It feels like a laser. It's really just the other doors bricked up. Maybe you tell yourself it's a creative thing. Chaos is how I make my best work. But the chaos didn't create anything. It just cleared the room until making was the only move left. Here's where your mode falls apart completely. The big, open-ended things. The book. The career change. The side project. Nothing bricks those doors for you. No single night the bouncer ever shows up. so they don't get done. Not because they're too hard, because nobody ever locked the exits. You waited for the pressure that works on a Tuesday report to arrive for a dream. It never comes. And leaning on last-minute pressure has a slow cost. Your baseline creeps up. Ordinary tasks stop moving until they're urgent. You slowly train yourself to need a crisis before you can do anything at all. It leaks, too. The people around you inherit your countdown. The nights you don't sleep. The plans you cancel because it's crunch time again, a crunch you quietly built yourself 2 weeks back. So if pressure is really just a locked room, the whole game changes. You stop trying to summon a feeling. You start doing something far more boring and far more reliable. You lock the room early, on purpose. Move 1. Give the task a wall before the real one. A deadline you invent alone won't hold. You know it's fake. It has to be real to someone else. So make it real to someone else. Tonight, pick the thing you're waiting for pressure on. Text one person, "I'll send you this by Thursday noon." Now a face is attached. That's an exit closed. No cliff required. Just one small, real promise. It works because you didn't beat the avoidance with willpower. You beat it with architecture. A promise to a real person is a slammed door. You just gotta slam it 2 weeks early, calmly, on a good day. Move 2. Don't schedule the task, schedule the walls. Put a 30-minute block on the calendar and treat it like a dentist appointment. A slot where the only door left open is the work. Inside that block, the rules are simple. Phone in another room. 1 tab. No quick anything. You're not summoning focus. You're rebuilding the locked room the deadline usually makes. Minus the panic. Minus the 3 a.m. Move 3. Stop trusting the finish line feeling. That rush at the end isn't a quality report. It's relief. So don't judge the work while you're high on it. Look again tomorrow. Calm. Awake. Read it in daylight, with the dread gone. Sometimes it's genuinely fine. Often you'll spot the seams, the thin bit, the fix one more pass would have caught. That gap is the sprint's real cost, made visible. Move 4. Run a postmortem on your favorite crushed it under pressure story. Write down what actually went wrong, the stuff you've since edited out. The panic, the luck, the thing that almost didn't send. Not to punish yourself, to break the myth with evidence. Once the near misses are on paper, I work better under pressure stops sounding like a strength and starts sounding like a bet you keep winning barely. To be fair, a little pressure genuinely helps. A real deadline focuses anyone. The problem was never that deadlines work. It's the story that only they do. That calm effort isn't available to you. It is. And you won't do this cleanly every time. You'll still leave some things late. That's fine. This isn't about becoming a machine. It's about not needing a 5-alarm fire just to open one document. The shift is small, but it changes everything. You stop saying, "I need pressure," and start saying, "I need the exits closed." Same result, except now you hold the key. Not the calendar. Not the crisis. Picture the room again. Same doors. Later. Tomorrow. One more scroll. Except this time you're not waiting for a deadline to lock them. You walk over and turn the bolt yourself. Quietly. Days early. And here's what that actually buys you. Not just better work. The 2 weeks. The evenings you're not half guilty. The sleep. The version of the task with room to breathe. That's the real prize. So let's put it together. You don't have a pressure setting. You have an avoidance habit that a deadline happens to interrupt. The deadline was never the hero. It was just the only thing that closed your exits. So close them earlier, yourself. Promise it to a real person. Book the room, not the wish. Judge the work sober, not relieved. And postmortem the myth until it finally stops fooling you. None of this asks you to become disciplined overnight or to love the boring version. It just asks you to move the wall a little closer on a normal day before the panic has to do it for you. Do that a few times, and something quiet happens. The big open-ended thing, the one no deadline was ever coming for, finally gets a wall too. And it starts to move. Because you stopped waiting to be cornered. So no, you don't work better under pressure. You just don't work without it, yet. And yet is the whole point. The deadline was doing a job you can learn to do yourself. Pressure removed your option to avoid. That's the entire trick. And anything a deadline can do to you, you can quietly do for yourself. Earlier, kinder, and without the 3 a.m. If this caught you a little, that quiet, "Oh, that's me," good. That's what this channel is for. We take the excuses that sound like personality and show you the plain machinery underneath. I'm Theo. I make videos about why you do the things you swear you'll stop, and the small, unglamorous fixes that actually hold. Stick around. There's a whole hallway of doors we haven't opened yet.